All right, folks, our One Vote campaign has been focused on making sure folks are getting out to vote, but also holding folks accountable. You might recall a couple of weeks ago, we talked about in North Carolina when a federal court struck down a massive voter suppression law in North Carolina, where they said they specifically targeted like a laser black voters. Well, guess what? In North Carolina, they are still trying to sit here and screw with the vote. A group called North Carolina Democracy. First of all, there's a group. They are a nonpartisan group. They're trying to ensure that you have fair voting in North Carolina in all 100 counties. Well, guess what? The head of the Republican Party there, the executive director, what he did was he sent an email across the state telling Republicans on these boards that they can actually slash early voting. One of the proposals, Mecklenburg County, Charlotte, the chair wants to open one early voting site in the entire county for the first week of early voting and 12 sites the second week. Charlotte, the largest county, Mecklenburg County, the largest county in North Carolina, one early voting site. Let's talk to our panel, Faraji, Joy, Ralph. Ralph, what the hell are your Republicans doing in North Carolina? This is clear effort to suppress the vote.
Yeah. Voter suppression, anywhere that it occurs, is wrong, and it should not happen.
So what are black Republicans saying to Republicans in North Carolina? Because this is clear. This is clear. He sent the email describing how they can suppress the vote.
Yeah, I don't live in North Carolina, so I can't specifically answer your question regarding what the people in North Carolina are doing. But what I can tell you is there is a large group of black Republicans nationwide who are speaking out in forums to people in positions of power, telling them that this is not the way to go. If you want the black vote, we need to be out there on the front line with voter registration. I've done voter registration right here in the District of Columbia. Wait a minute, let me finish. And when we do it, we don't care how you register to vote, Democrat or Republican.
Shelley, pull up my iPad. This is an email that Dallas Woodhouse, the North Carolina Republican Party executive director, sent across the state, and this is what he said. County board elections do not have to be unanimous in making early voting changes. Republicans can and should make party line changes to early voting. Faraji and Joy, this is clear voter suppression. And we saw the exact same thing happen in Ohio in 2012, and the Obama campaign sued to stop this from happening in Ohio.
It is the loop around. It is the go around, because they know they cannot stop the voter registration campaigns. As you can see from this email, they talk about the Democrats are mobilizing to get out the vote. It says it right there in that
pull the email up, Shelley.
Right, it says it
pull it up.
In the next
But
paragraph.
they even say our Republican board members should feel empowered to make legal changes to early voting. So they're trying to skim off the top. I say, it's legal to cut early voting sites. They even one of the counties
they want to shut down the number of hours.
And in one county they even struck down voting on Sundays because they don't want churches voting in mass.
And bringing, but I think what the Republicans have to stop saying is that they're not doing voter suppression. They can't say in one teleprompter speech that they're reaching out to the black community and then have all of this evidence around the country that's been pointed out on this show and other shows all through the media that the Republicans on the state and local level are actually targeting black people.
And back in 2012, some of the major counties like Mecklenburg and many other counties in North Carolina, 70% of black folks came out to vote during the early voting period.
Right.
That's how President Obama was able to get elected. It was during the early voting period. Early voting is becoming the new normal for states across the country.
Because you get to go vote on a day you don't have to go to work. Exactly. And a lot of black people.
Okay, so pull this up. Go back to my iPad. This is a piece from WFAE, one of the radio stations there. On the day, this is what they say, on the day that the state of North Carolina asked the U.S. Supreme Court to reconsider that Circuit Court of Appeals decision, Mecklenburg County Board of Elections, on a 2-to-1 partisan vote, voted to cut 238 hours from early voting.
Exactly.
The Republicans adopted a plan calling for 2,504 hours of voting spread over 6 sites the first week, 22 locations over the second 10 days. In 2012, they had 2,742 hours of voting. They want to cut that. And again, this is a piece. And folks, look at this piece here. Early voting, 2008, 57% of all ballots cast in 08 were from early voting. 2012, 56. And look at this here, folks. In Mecklenburg County, more than 450,000 ballots were cast in 2012. That means more than 200,000 early voting ballots were cast. This is Republicans' route, trying to suppress the vote in order to win.
Come on. What did I say 5 minutes ago? I said any effort to suppress the vote is wrong. And there's a group of black Republicans who are meeting, and we have these discussions with harder. And
I need to talk a little bit more
unfortunately, I was watching the other day. Unfortunately, Rice Priebus doesn't have the power to step in and tell these folks to cut out.
Rice Priebus has the power to hold a news conference and to say to the nation, to the North Carolina Republicans, stop voter suppression. He does not have to have the power. He has the bully pulpit, but he will not use it. And it was Colin Powell who went to North Carolina, who was invited by the governor and looked him dead in his eye and said, the voter suppression bill you have here is dead wrong. And so Priebus can actually do it, and other Republicans can do it. Donald Trump can do it. Mike Pence can do it, but they don't have the guts to do it because they want voter suppression.
No, I would disagree with that. No,
Really?
they don't want voter suppression.
Come on, man.
But while we're talking voter suppression, how come nobody wants to talk about the fact that when you look at New York during the primaries and California during the primaries, you had Democrats suppressing Democrat votes to keep black folks from voting? Nobody wants to talk about that either.
Ralph,
there's no
I am citing specifically a state where a federal appeals court said in its writing,
And we
one second, in its writing, if there was there was a laser-like focus on African Americans in order to suppress the vote. And here are Republicans in North Carolina still trying to suppress the vote in that state. Folks, we're going to keep you abreast of this. And so we're going to make sure that, again, we're going to call these folks out because this is an effort to seriously try to steal an election. Donald Trump was talking about rigged elections. This is trying to rig an election. It is wrong. It is unjust. It is immoral. And Republicans should stand up to what's happening in North Carolina and say, do not do it. And I call on Rice Priebus, the chair of the Republican National Committee, to hold a news conference condemning Republicans in North Carolina. And he should go to North Carolina and hold that news conference. The question is, will he have the guts to actually do it? Let's talk about what's happening, folks, in Chicago. Okay.